Hello everyone, our group will be presenting our field work. The topic is unfair dismissal of employees in Malaysia, analyzed from a business law perspective for the EPPA2823 cause. Unfair dismissal refers to a situation where an employee is terminated without a valid reason or without following a fair procedure. This is a current issue because many companies today face business pressure such as downsizing and cost reduction, which has led to an increase in termination cases. However, while employers aim to protect their business interests, employees also diverse legal protection against unfair treatment. Therefore, the purpose of our field work is to examine how business law addresses unfair dismissal and how the law balances the rights of employers and employees. Next, our group member will explain the legal principle related to unfair dismissal.
First part is about conduct of employee. Its legal foundation is set role, play, hours, notice, and place, and it helps define the bounds misconduct and poor performance. Second one is about employee to employee. The relationship creates duties from both employees and employed teams. Employees must follow level 4 instructions and work with due care. Employee must provide a safety work environment and act fairly and maintain a safe workplace. Under Malaysian level, employment relationship begin with conduct of employment, which creates a legal right and obligation between employer and employee. Once relationship exists, the employer cannot simply terminate an employee at will. Dismissals can be either direct or constructive. Direct dismissal happens when the employee clearly terminates. The employee will constructive dismissal occur when the employee's conduct focus on the employee to reside in a level. Both are treated as dismissal. Importantly, any dismissal must be based on just cause or access. That means that employee must have the reasonable and lawful the reasons and must also follow a fair procedure and including investigation and giving the employee a chance to be heard. The burdens of proof lies on the employer, not employee. The employer must justify that dismissal was fair. Under the Introduction Regulation Act 1967, disputes over the unfair dismissal are decided by the Introduction Court, which protects the employers from the unfair treatment.
The slide shows how unfair dismissal law is applied in real workplace situations in Malaysia. A common example is dismissal due to poor performance. For instance, an employee may be dismissed for failing to meet sales targets. However, under the Malaysian law, the employer must prove that the performance targets were clearly communicated. Warnings were given and the employee was allowed sufficient time to improve. Without these steps, the dismissal may be considered unfair. Other common situation involves misconduct. For example, if an employee is dismissed immediately for repeat lateness, the industrial court may view this unfair because lateness is usually targeted as moral misconduct. In such case, progressive disciplinary action is expected. Other common example is retrenchment due to business restructuring. For instance, a company may reduce its workforce because of declining profits. Although retrenchment is a legitimate business decision, Malaysian law requires it to be general and not used to target special employees. In such case, the industrial court examines whether the retrenchment is based on real business necessity and whether fair selection criteria and were applied importantly, the burden of proof lies on the employer to justify the dismissal. In practice, the creates challenges because businesses often need to act quickly, while the law requires proper documentation and fair procedures. Without this, even reasonable business decisions may be considered unfair.
In conclusion, unfair dismissal is an important employment issue in Malaysia because it affects both employees' business decisions and employees' legal rights. Malaysia employment law requires employees to have just cause and follow fair procedures when dismissing employees from a business lay. Prospective understanding unfair dismissal helps business reduce legal risks and ensures fair treatment in the workplace. The topic helped us understand that business decisions have legal consequences. Employment law protects both employees and employers by providing clear rules on dismissal. However, applying the law in real business situations can be challenging due to economic pressure and practical limitations. Overall, this study shows why business law knowledge is essential for effective and responsible management.